Hello, and welcome to the Calm Portal, where every story is a gateway into a deep and peaceful rest. Tonight, we follow Emilia, a winemaker's daughter, through the twilight vineyards of Tuscany, where time moves slow like honey, and rest is the sweetest harvest of all. So as you close your eyes and soften into the surface beneath you, allow your body to gently stretch and find its own relaxing position, allowing your arms and legs to find their own comfort as you settle in for tonight's sleep story. And when you are ready, taking a few slow and easy breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, releasing any lingering debris from the day gone by. And as you slowly become aware of the gentle rise and fall of your chest, allow your mind to drift now to the rolling hills of Italy, where the air is soft with the fragrance of crushed grapes and wild rosemary. Twilight settles over the vineyard as Emilia walks her nightly path amongst the rows of trees she's known since childhood, her fingertips grazing the leaves as she passes. The ground beneath surprisingly still warm under her feet. Summer has always been her favorite season. As Emilia rounds the curve in the path, she sees a shadowy figure sitting beneath the oldest tree on the property. It is a woman with skin like weathered oak, staring off into the distance whilst weaving grapevines into a crown. And without looking up, she pats the space beside her and says, "You're late," even though they'd never met. The moon's been waiting. Puzzled yet curious, Emilia sits beside the woman and gazes up at the moon. "And what does the moon wait for?" she asks. The woman's fingers pause their weaving. A grapevine tendril curls around her wrist like a living bracelet. "The moon waits," she says, her voice thoughtful with a hint of sorrow, "because some questions take lifetimes to answer." Emilia feels the cool night air on her cheeks as the moonlight intensifies, spilling silver across the cascading vineyard rows. "What question am I asking?" she wonders out loud. The woman lifts the finished crown of vines and gently places it upon Emilia's head. "The same one your father asked at your age. The same secret the grapes whisper as they ripen on the vine." She reaches for a small clay cup, its contents steaming with the scent of plum and rhubarb. "Drink," she offers. "What the vines remember will help you see." Holding the cup with both hands, Emilia drinks until there is nothing left. And before she knows it, she is standing in the vineyard, but not as it is now. The vines are younger, the house much smaller, and a boy, her father, kneels in the dirt, pressing a grape to his tongue. His face is unlined, his eyes bright with the same restless curiosity Emilia feels in her own chest. He looks up at the moon and whispers, "Is this all there is?" The vision slowly ripples. Now Emilia sees her father as a young man, stacking crates labeled for cities he's only dreamed of: Vienna, Rio, Chicago, but his hands linger on each one, his thumb brushing the wood grain like a farewell, as a woman touches his shoulder and says softly, "Don't stay out here too long, everyone's asking where you've gone." The scene dissolves into the moonlight, and Emilia finds herself back beneath the ancient tree, the cup now empty in her hands. The vine woman watching her, eyes gleaming like dew, suddenly says, "The moon shall be your guide, but it cannot wait forever." Emilia removes the crown from her head and asks, "But I don't know what to do." "You know more than you think," the vine woman whispers encouragingly. "Look," she points to the crown in Emilia's hands. Where the vines had been thorny, tiny buds were slowly starting to emerge, their petals unfurling. "See how the blossoms grow from the same stem?" The woman's voice softer now. "You need not choose between loving this place and longing for another. Your spirit, like the vine, learns to stretch toward the sun without forgetting its roots." Emilia stares at the transformed crown, then at the cottage window where her father's shadow moves behind the glass. "But his cough is his story to carry," the woman interrupts gently, "just as your dreams are yours. He went on his adventures, he followed his heart, and he dared to dream." The wine woman studied Emilia for a long moment. "Child, the guilt you carry is not yours to bear." Emilia's fingers tighten around the crown. Thorns prick her palms, not enough to bleed, just enough to feel. "I know he went," she whispers, "but he came back. What if you don't?" the woman finishes. "Ah, that is the real fear, isn't it? That you might love the world too much to return." Emilia's breath hitches. The cottage window glows yellow. Inside, her father coughs again. The vine woman takes Emilia's hands. "You think he doesn't know? The man has tasted Amazon rain and Persian winds. He recognizes hunger in another's eyes." Somewhere, off in the distance, an owl calls, and the crown in Emilia's lap has wilted to a tangle of stems, with only one bud remaining tightly closed. The vine woman releases Emilia's hands and says, "When you're ready," nodding to the bud, "plant this where the road forks. The choice will hurt either way, but at least allow it to be your choice." The vine woman's form dissolved into the trunk of the ancient tree. Emilia sits alone in the moonlight, the last unopened bud heavy in her palm. The message is clear, only her courage is not. Emilia looks down at the bud in her hand. Its petals tremble not with magic, but with the nervousness of her breath and the weight of her fears. "Plant it where the road forks," she recites. As she passes the rows and makes her way to the end of the field where the woodlands begin, never noticing before how wild the grapes grew thickest there, the path splits, one way worn smooth by cartwheels, the other narrow and threaded with wild vines. She had walked past this fork 1,000 times and never truly seen it. Emilia bends down and digs with her hands, dirt sticking in her fingernails, worms scattering across the earth, as she tenderly places the bud into the bed she made and covers it back up. She closes her eyes, taking a deep breath. She whispers to herself, everything is always working out for me. She takes another look up at the moon. Thanks for being my guide. I hope you know where we're going. Emilia brushes the soil from her hands, the earthy scent clinging to her skin like a promise. The moonlit path back to the cottage, seemingly different now, the vines leaning toward her as if in approval, the hint of possibility in the air. The cottage window still glows. When she steps inside, she sees her father at the wooden table, and what looks like a journal open beside 2 glasses of cognac. His fingers, usually trembling, now still, tracing the faded journal as he waits for her to sit down. Couldn't sleep, he says, though his eyes are clear. He pushes 1 glass toward her. The cognac smells of vanilla and honey, reminding her of the year she turned 12 and him giving her a taste for the first time. She never thought a day would come where she'd actually enjoy it. I see we're both a little restless tonight. Emilia hesitates. The journal's pages flutter as he flips to an entry near the middle. She glimpses pressed flowers from Kyoto, a train ticket to Marrakesh, a smudge of what might be Persian saffron. Emilia touches its brittle pages. You never showed me this. You never asked, he says, a playful smile appearing on his face. He pushes the journal over to her. Here, have a look. Emilia traces the edges, the cognac's warmth now spreading through her chest like sunrise. Turning softly through the diary, her eyes gaze across all the beautiful memories pressed into the pages, from Barcelona to Cannes, from Madras to Shiraz. Her finger stops on a photograph tucked between pages. Her father as a young man standing at a ship's railing, his knuckles white around the rail. The ocean behind him stretching endlessly. How did you feel when you first left home? Were you ever scared? He leans back in his seat, swirling the cognac around before taking a brief sip. Terrified, he admits. For 3 days after the ship left Genoa, I couldn't eat. The sailors laughed at me. His thumbs rubbed the rim of his glass. But then, the first morning I woke to the smell of foreign soil, the architecture, the food, the people. It was all so different, so beautiful. I had never felt more alive. And what about your dad? Emilia asks. What did he make of all your dreams of travel? Her father became silent as he closed his eyes, face stoic. A moment passes, long enough for a vine outside to tap against the window 3 times, and with a soft croak escaping his voice. I will never forget the day I said goodbye to him. He stood at the front door of the house waving, staring at me like we'd never meet again. His fingers tighten around the glass. I cannot imagine the fear he must have felt. Emilia watches a single tear resting in the groove of his cheek. It was very hard, my little petal. He opens his eyes. But of course I was young. I didn't consider those things back then. His hand, still stained with decades of vineyard soil, covers hers. It's only now, as a father myself, that I know the feeling of letting go of what's most precious in our hearts. Outside, the wind shifts. The newly planted bud at the crossroads unfurls its first leaf, pale, green, trembling, as if hearing the confession. And a single tear falls from Emilia's cheek. Her father sees it land on their clasped hands. Instead of wiping it away, he smiles. Don't be afraid, little petal. You must never be afraid to live your life. You must understand. You were never meant to belong to one soil alone. He taps the journal. Look here, the best wines, they're born where two climates meet, where mountain air kisses sea winds. You? He finger traces the path of her tear. You are that rare blend. Always remember, great roots drink from many waters. He presses the journal into her hands. That's your inheritance, Emilia. Not these vines, not these walls, but the whole wide world that flavors them. You do not belong to any one country. You are a person of the world. Go taste your birthright, he whispers. Then come and tell me what soil tastes like at the edge of the world. The cognac glasses sit empty now, catching only moonlight in their curved bellies. Outside, the trees rustle their approval as the night breeze slowly dies down, as if the vineyard itself is exhaling, settling into deeper stillness. Her father stands, the chair creaking beneath him. He gathers the wool shawl draped over the backrest, the same one Emilia's mother had knit decades ago, its faded blue thread still holding the same shape of her hands. For a moment he pauses at the doorway, his silhouette framed by the silver-lit hallway. Good night, little petal, he murmurs. Sweet dreams. Alone at the table, Emilia runs her fingers over the journal's open pages, and as the moon begins its slow descent behind the hills, its work as tonight's guide now complete, Emilia rests her head on her arms. The journal becomes her pillow, its pages whispering against her cheek. Her eyes gently close as dreams start to take shape of future adventures ready and waiting. Thank you for joining me in the Calm Portal. The portal to calm is always within you.